What's up, everyone? Welcome to OK Bud, the podcast where everything's gonna be okay, bud. I am Ben Kissel on Instagram at BenKissel1, joined by Jerii Aquino.
Oh, hello.
At Miss_Jerii, that's Jerii, and Kyle Ploof.
Hey.
At Kyle Ploof. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/diebud. Watch every show live, comment, and contribute. Also, shoot us an email, okbudpod@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts. Send us pictures of your animals, your whatever you want to share with us.
Yes. I saw on the Spotify comment someone was asking where to submit the goofy laughs to me.
Oh.
I think I should start an Instagram thread about it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Starting with Kyle.
Well, speaking of goofy, let's go on to today's first story, which is a did he do it or not? Apparently.
Oh my god.
The answer is not. Diddy has been found not guilty on the most serious of charges. The only charges that he was found guilty of were engaging in prostitution, which will carry not that much significant time. As a matter of fact, I've heard it is possible he might just get time served. So this
Really?
That's possible. Yeah. That's what they're saying.
No.
So the happiest person, you might think it would be P. Diddy himself, but I do believe it was his supporters who got bathed in baby oil outside of the courthouse in beautiful New York City. If you're walking downtown, be careful. A slip and fall could be in your future.
Now is a good time to rubberize those boots.
Absolutely. Someone who perhaps wasn't so happy, although did respond kindly, was 50 Cent.
Yes. Everyone has been wondering what he would think and what his sheer disappointment would actually look like.
Mm-hmm. 50 says, Diddy beat the feds. That boy, a bad man. There you go.
That boy, a bad man.
He also dubbed 50 Cent the gay John Gotti, which is pretty incredible.
Wait, but okay, so you're telling me that 50 Cent never went to one freak off, never ever won. Not a one.
Not a one. That's what he says.
That's incredible.
50 Cent?
Yeah.
50
Oh,
Cent.
he's never been. He's hated him for so long.
Yeah.
Because Diddy was like, I want to take you shopping. And he's like,
Oh my
what man
God.
says he wants to take another man shopping?
That's so true.
Now,
It started with homophobia, but
It did.
he got it right.
That is
Yeah.
the one thing about everyone who's like 50 is completely right. It is because he doesn't want to touch anybody's penis, which is fine, of course.
Which is fine. He knew what he would be signing himself up for.
It's more than fine.
He was like, I'm good.
Exactly. So
And I love him. He's great.
he was upset that Diddy offered to take him shopping. That's what kind of kicked off the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So 50 said, beat the RICO charge. He
Oh
is.
my god. He's
the
like
gay
still
John Gotti.
creeped out about it. Every time he looks at him, he can't forget it.
Yeah.
That feeling, the chills, like, damn boy, let me take you shopping.
Yeah,
And it's crazy because the game fell for it. And he's like one of the most gangster dudes out there. He fell for it. He didn't record an album for like 5 years because he was out hanging out on boats with Diddy the whole time. And he was like, are we ever going to go in the studio? And Diddy's like, hold on, Playboy.
Oh
And
my
just kept doing that for every day for 5 years.
Oh my god.
just
Oh,
50 Cent
Jesus.
and P. Diddy hanging out at Hollister.
Yeah.
We could all see that. Or maybe if they're feeling a little bit risque, they'll go to Hot Topic. So that's big news there. Obviously, the prosecution.
I hope he gets more time.
Yeah, it's an injustice. It's not time served. It's time swerved. He's getting out of it.
Seriously.
Whoa, hey,
Ooh.
bullshit.
The jury made their decision. They heard all the
Ploof with
evidence.
truth.
They heard all the evidence and made their conclusion. The prosecution apparently did an awful, awful job.
That sucks because it was all right there for the taking.
All right, there you go. P. Diddy will be walking the streets, making music sometime soon that I won't listen to because I haven't really listened to P. Diddy in quite a while.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
He was good on the Godzilla soundtrack for one song.
Oh,
He
nice.
did a song for Godzilla?
Yeah, he pretty much just sampled Cashmere from what's the Robert Plant, that band.
Oh, cool. Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin, yeah. And
There it is.
Walk With Me. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Oh,
It was kind of a-
interesting.
Kind of a walking song.
Yeah.
Isn't that good for exercise?
Good.
Well, walking is exactly what he will be doing in the very
Oh my
near
god.
future.
Seriously.
I can't believe
Boosh.
the amount of stress that must be when you get the not guilty verdict. That's got to feel pretty good. All right. Well, guilty. Speaking of somebody that is actually truly guilty in the eyes of the court, Let's move on to Brian Kohberger.
Ah, there's no escaping the law now.
This will be the final update on the Kohberger case. I'm sure there'll be a documentary and a whole bunch of other pieces of media following his journey as he now embarks on a life in prison. They have officially broken down the step-by-step account of what happened on the night that he killed 4 Idaho students.
Oh, man.
It's freaking disgusting. So his guilty plea, obviously, it divided the victims' families. Many of them were upset. Some, however, are happy it's done.
I could imagine, yeah.
Right? So they're just like, okay, fucking just be over this.
Yeah.
It's just disgusting. I'm heartbroken. They're gone.
I have to, yeah.
He's going to be in prison for the rest of his life. Apparently, he was eligible for the firing squad.
He was, yeah. They said
Insane.
that if they only did the firing squad if they didn't have the combination to do like the lethal injection. So I think they were going to find a way to be like, oh, you know, supply chain issues.
Well, yeah.
Let's fucking shoot them.
We can't find it. We can't find it anywhere. Where did you leave it?
The tariffs, you know.
The goddamn tariffs.
They've been killing us all, but they're not killing you.
There's a poison shipment stuck in the Gulf of Humuth.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I would rather take the bullet to the dome anyway. Or the
Ah,
heart.
that's so terrifying.
Yes.
Oh, God. It's all terrifying. I think I might rather take the bullet, too.
They might not be a good shot.
But I don't want to look.
They might nick you, and you're just like, ow!
Oh, my ear! Ow!
First Trump, now they're coming for me.
We call that the presidential.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it'll be healed miraculously in 2 weeks, as if it never happened.
Yeah.
Okay, Kohberger. It all began March 2022 when he logged on to Amazon.com.
Wow.
It all starts with Amazon.com. That's where he bought a military-grade K-bar knife along with the sheath.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can get diapers, your favorite book, or a murder weapon.
I love that.
It's pretty good. Next day.
One-stop shop.
Same day sometimes.
You know?
He then moved to Pullman, Washington, which is minutes away from Moscow, Idaho. Also, Amazon, you have blood on your hands.
Well, they've had it from the start.
They literally kill their own factory workers.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess that's what they like to have it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work. So he then moved to Pullman, Washington, minutes from Moscow, Idaho. In June, he was there to pursue his PhD in criminology, which we all know. By early July, 6 months before the murders, Kohberger's phone began ringing off cell towers that served that house, and only at odd hours of the night. So he was casing this house for half a year.
Holy shit.
That is so scary.
What a fucking... Yeah, you're like inside just having like a Taco Tuesday night. Meanwhile, someone is like, yes, her dinner is coming at 7:30 as planned.
Yes, and it's Idaho tacos, so you know there's a lot of sour cream.
Yeah.
So
Ain't nothing wrong with sour cream.
I know, it's the white version of... The whites, we have a very unique taco. Less salsa, more sour cream. Bring it.
Oh, that's... Okay.
We like it nice and not flavor. No, not spicy. Much like the Dominicans,
nice,
which I
cool
learned.
Flavor. I do like sour cream a lot, and I like the way it cools down a spicy taco.
So, between July and the night of the November murders, Kohberger's phone pinged at that tower 23 times, and the pings only took place from the hours of 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
So creepy that it's such a long time to be there.
Yes, and he's just stalking, eating a sandwich. You have to eat like a Jimmy John's, or I wonder what he was. Maybe he was getting a fast and ready from Caesars before he went out.
Maybe his like iWatch just kind of like beeped, like boop boop boop. I was like, oh snap! Gotta get my snacks in.
Yeah,
I gotta stay hydrated.
absolutely. Well, you do need to stay hydrated when you're casing a house to murder 4 people, or if you're a detective.
Yeah.
Which I think he also probably thought he was.
He probably felt like one.
So pathetic. So, they do not say he had any contact with the victims, and we still don't know exactly why this was the house that he chose. So, the day of the killing, Kohberger's phone was powered off in Pullman around 2 o'clock in the morning before he turned it back on in the Moscow area just before 5 a.m. Of course, from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m., that's when these murders took place. During the blackout window, he drove his white Hyundai from his Pullman apartment and parked it behind the victim's house in Moscow. This is according to evidence found on security footage.
Wow.
He was wearing a dark face mask. He slipped into the home via the kitchen sliding door at 4 a.m. Go check the sliding doors.
You gotta check
Yeah,
the
lock
sliding
that shit.
doors. You gotta check the sliding doors.
Oh my God. He climbed, so it's 4 a.m. He slips through the sliding doors. He climbed to the home's 3rd floor where he used his 7-inch K-bar blade to butcher Mogan. And what? How do you say it?
Goncalves.
Goncalves? Okay.
Yeah, no.
Both 21-year-old
Gonzalez.
college seniors, as they slept alongside each other. There he left the knife's sheath, so it was inside the house.
Oh my god.
It had his DNA on it, which would later ensure his downfall. So he killed those two. They were sleeping next to next to one another. Koberger then stormed out of the room and encountered 20-year-old Kernodle on the stairs. She had just woken up to pick up her food delivery. There, he cut her down where she stood, and she died,
Wow.
where she was left for dead. Her room was not on the 3rd floor, it was on the 2nd floor. Then he encountered Zaina, and he ended up killing her also with that large knife. Then Koberger moved into her bedroom where her boyfriend, 20-year-old Chapin, was sleeping, and he butchered him.
Oh my god.
So
A lot of deep sleepers in this house, huh?
I guess so. It was late. They were probably a little intoxicated. They were just resting up.
Yeah.
They say we will not represent that he intended to commit all of the murders that he did that night, but we know that is what resulted. So they don't know if he went in to kill everybody or just one person or two people.
They think he was going there to kill Maddie and Maddie alone, and she was in bed with Xana, or one of the other girls. And so he killed them both, and then Ethan woke up downstairs, and they were like, what the hell's going on? And then he killed them both because they were...
Wow.
And then Dylan Mortensen was in the other room, and she opened the door. She's the one that saw him with the bushy eyebrows, and that
Yes.
she was like the only person to have like an actual identification description of him.
So as Koberger was leaving the house, that's exactly what happened. The two housemates were left alive and untouched. One peered into the hallway, saw the bushy eyebrows. From there, the neighbor's security footage showed Koberger's car peeling out of the neighborhood. And then, boom, the cell phone records indicate he was back in Pullman.
Wow.
Not Bill Pullman. Pullman at 5:30 in the morning. Strangely enough, he then drove back to the victim's house around 9 o'clock in the morning. And then at 9:30, he was back home again, and that's where he took that weird photo of himself giving the thumbs up for Instagram or TikTok.
Oh my
one
god.
of those.
With no shower curtain.
Disgusting.
Thumbs up, no shower curtain. I think it's either because he's a slob or just lazy, or he had blood all over it and he wanted to get rid of it.
That's very possible.
That's very
Yeah.
possible, yeah.
He doesn't strike me as a slob. He strikes me as very like type A, like, don't touch it. That's my ketchup that I put it right there in the fridge.
OCD.
Yes. So he also began searching online for another knife and sheath because he thought if I get another knife and sheath, then they won't think that that was my knife and sheath because I'll be like, I got my knife and sheath right here.
And it has no blood on it.
He also,
Wow.
yes, exactly. But of course, they were able to find
Yeah.
his history. He tried to delete his history, but you never delete the history.
Oh, man.
There's nothing deletable.
Right. He also changed his car registration from Pennsylvania to Idaho.
But why Idaho? Why not Washington?
I
The
don't
crime
know.
didn't happen in Washington. He actually lived in Washington.
We don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
He wanted to throw investigators off the trail.
Not the brightest bulb.
He is not. He's a total moron. He then carried on with his life. They say Mr. Koberger proceeded to finish his semester of studies at Washington
Wow.
State University
Wow.
and returned to Pennsylvania for the holidays. He was arrested soon thereafter after DNA was found on a Q-tip that he had thrown away in his parents' trash can.
Yep.
Good.
Oh my God! So that brings an end to the Koberger saga.
Yeah.
Rest in hell, pal.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying, like, oh, this is good. He wants everybody to be able to move on. And it's like, no, this is all for control. Even though he's giving up, he doesn't want the trial to actually come out and all the evidence to come out against him, because then we will have a better idea of what actually happened. I think he is a control freak and a narcissist, and he wants to keep the why to himself and make that a mystery forever. And that way people will still want to talk to him, interview him, and he can get out of the jail cell every once in a while. And I think it's all about control for him. He's a fucking piece of shit.
It is very possible that it is. And of course, there's going to be many reporters knocking down that cell door to get the first uncut interview with Brian Koberger, which is why I'm
The
so.
killer speaks.
And I'm like, why? I want to see the killer go against a battle bot.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be fun. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, like some like modern gladiator shit.
Well, that brings us to our next conversation. This is a toss up.
Ooh. Jinx.
Murder memorabilia and just overall murder fascination. All the shows, A Killer Speaks, all the different reality shows, the documentaries.
I know, and I feel bad, but I am a little bit obsessed with it all.
Of course, people are. We've talked true crime for years and years and years.
Yeah.
People eat it, people eat it up. So, when it comes to murderabilia, the Gilgo Beach killer.
Oh my God.
He has a bunch of his shit that is now resurfaced or surfaced on eBay. And I'm just wondering, the Gilgo Beach killer, do you want anything this piece of trash touched?
It's fucking gross.
But of course, there will be some people out there that do. So eBay murderabilia peddlers are cashing in on the Long Island serial killer. All of his merch, a 1972 Vietnam-era Jeep, once owned by Hugh Ehrman,
Wow.
is looking to be sold for more than $4,300. Well, his 1977 yearbook from McKenna Junior High is up for damn near $1,000.
That's so ridiculous. You know, and I'm so against this. Like I said, I know I'm a huge fan of true crime and getting into the mind of the killer. The shows where like the killer speaks. And it's always just like a fascination with like the psychosis of their brain, like how
Right.
they got to this like callous place in their life where if they always have been that way. But I'm never going to support them.
Right.
I'm not going to be like, well, I'm going to buy your merch now. Like, you're so cool. I'm not like inspiring to be like you.
Well, and of course, they can't get any money off of their own memorabilia or their merch, which is exactly what it is, which is so bizarre.
Yeah.
We're going to have merch soon here, by the way, which will be very, very exciting for OK Bud, Ben Kissel Politics, and Death and Entertainment. But that's different because we haven't committed heinous acts of murder.
No. You support us because we're working.
Yeah, we're trying to make people laugh. We're trying to make people smile.
Yeah. And also, I think there's a thing for women trying to gain some kind of like a mental control by constantly filling your brain with all of this so that you're always like ready. So like you're prepared. You're like, I see the signs.
Well, I did see a study that said if your partner is super into true crime, that's a red flag.
Why? Because in case you want to murder me, I'm going to be able to tell from a
No,
mile away.
It's a little bit of the inverse of that. If I want to murder you, I want to figure out how I'm going to get away with it.
No. For me, I'm looking for like, oh, let's see all these creepy stuff. Like, oh, you played with animals, you killed them as a kid. Well, now I know that's something that's not cool. That probably will, you know.
Did you need
something else?
Did you need a documentary to tell you that?
Maybe I did.
Okay.
Maybe you don't like kids growing up in the freaking sandbox doing all kinds of weird, dumb shit. You never know.
Pooping in the sandbox, stuff like that.
Yeah, like it's like the difference between taking a pigeon and breaking its neck for pleasure, or being like a dumbass kid in Miami and like flicking tails off of lizards because they fall off so easily.
Right, and
I
of
don't
course,
think those kids would be murderers.
Right, yeah. And I think the tail grows back.
And the tail grows back, so it's just kind of funny.
Well, you might think that this would be for something like that. Unfortunately, the dark web, the black market of memorabilia or murderabilia, it tends to be run just by hairy, stinky D-bags.
Yeah.
There's a collector named David Adamoff, and he says, this is a real big deal.
Yeah, this is not cool.
What were you going to say, Kyle?
I think it's weird when like private citizens have it. I understand why like museums and stuff would have something like that. Because you get to go up, you see like OJ's Jeep or something, or a Bronco.
I would
Like,
see
oh,
the
that's cool.
Bronco.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. I mean, that's like history.
Well, okay, again, in the eyes of the law, that's not murderabilia. He's innocent.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
It's just a
He's
car,
innocent.
man.
It's just a car, and I actually love those.
Whether he,
And
you know what, if we were gonna play the game of whether he's innocent or not, that was still his attempted getaway car for whatever the fuck he was running from.
he was
That
running
was
from
his
his.
attempted getaway
Run from
car.
himself.
Well, he was.
I'm dead himself.
Well, he's used
Yeah.
to running fast.
Yeah.
Yes. So David Adamoff, again, they're the middleman. I think it's the middle people
Yeah.
that are really garbage.
Yeah.
Anyway, they say this is really a big deal, especially here on Long Island. A large collectible like a Jeep, that's an interesting item. I have a feeling if you drove that Jeep around Long Island, your windows would be smashed every single time you stopped at a red light.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
would be pretty fucking pissed if I was like, Gary, my neighbor got the Jeep that Huerman used to kill all those sex workers.
It's like, oh fuck this guy. If that was my neighbor, prepare to have your car graffitied every single day. By who? I have no idea.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And also with Huerman, I mean, I'm looking at a picture of him right
He's
now.
gross.
He looks like he could be, speaking of Leatherface, I'm looking at a doll of Leatherface. He looks like he could be Leatherface's
he
father.
really does.
He
Yeah.
is-
Well, he could be Leatherface.
He could be Leatherface. He looks like he's wearing a wig. He's one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen in my entire life.
Terrible.
He's just this big bumbling asshole, and there's no charm. And I hate to say this, but killers are people, and people vary in charm. Some are more charming than others.
Right.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't have any of the panache.
Yeah, no. He's like gross, like ogre, nightmarish killer.
So I don't want anything from this guy.
Yeah, I don't want to breathe the air that he breathes.
Right.
Gross.
Driving
He just looks like a virus.
Also, when it comes to driving, it's very intimate. You're almost having sex with that person if you drive somebody else's car.
What?
Oh,
Oh
why?
yeah, because
I
they're
just-
sitting there. What's on there? Their cooch, their balls, their butthole, their farts. Their wheel is full of their sweat, their grip. It's a very intimate thing. I don't want to be in Huerman's position driving that frickin' Jeep.
Now I'm thinking about my used car and the
I've-
previous owner.
Never thought about this before.
You're entering that person,
If you
Entering that person's car for sure. Yeah.
well, which is an extension of themselves.
Yeah. Maybe.
So, I mean, it is a cool looking Jeep. I will give him that now that I'm looking at it.
Fuck the Jeep, man. It doesn't
Okay, I'm
matter.
just saying, it's a cool looking
That's not
Jeep.
the fucking point. Get another Jeep that looks exactly like that. That is not Horman's, however you say his stupid name's Jeep.
Well, his wife still believes in him.
Okay, well,
She's standing
his wife
by
was
her
also
man.
stupid enough to marry him.
Yeah, she is stupid.
It also doesn't have to be murderabilia for a Jeep to get stuff thrown at it. When Mark Wahlberg was in like Mark at the Funky Bunch, he got this cherry red Jeep Grand Cherokee and would drive around all the time with the top down. And my buddy's uncle was like, we used to fucking throw trash at him while he was driving down the street. He's like, everybody
funny.
threw trash at him.
Well, that's good.
I love stories that come from Boston. Okay, according to Andy Kahan,
Come on.
they run a victim service Crime Stoppers line in Houston. They say, this is interesting, they say, I've been dealing with the murderabilia industry for over 20-some years. And one thing I've learned is that when someone is attached or charged with serial killings, items will be put up for sale, and he doesn't think it's very good.
No, it's
So
not.
items up for grabs include a series of magazines and newspaper covers, and also a map of the area. So you can really fantasize.
A map of the area? That's so gross, dude. Why would you want... See, now that's glamorizing it. That's glamorizing the murder. That's like trying to put yourself in his shoes and be like, ooh, it's almost like I'm a murderer adjacent because I get to be this close to all of the evidence. No,
Yeah.
that's gross. Why do you want to do that?
Just eating
Weirdo.
just eating a Carl's Jr. jalapeno burgers,
Yeah.
dripping all over your face and your
Ugh.
chin. So the Jeep, you know how many miles do you think this Jeep has on it? What do you think?
Oh,
180,000.
dude. Yeah, I was gonna go like 170.
Killing ain't easy. Killing
No.
takes time. Killing
Yeah.
takes driving. 522, 465.
Oh, we were
That's
way off.
522,000 miles. He drove the fuck out of that Jeep.
You needed to drive, man.
He can keep cars alive, just not women.
Yeah, I guess
I'm
so.
dead. Oh my
Jeez.
god.
He
Well,
would
that's,
be.
that's when they used to build things with quality.
Yeah.
So anyway, Gilgo Beach, murderabilia. I am very conflicted on it. I think you're right. If it goes to a museum and it's used for educational purposes, maybe it can serve some kind of greater good. But for the
Yeah.
most part, I think people buy it like a Pogo the Clown painting, which are basically paint by numbers towards the end. Obviously, that's John Wayne Gacy. I know a lot of people who own stuff like that, and they kind of glorify it a little bit too much. And they're like,
Yeah.
look, it's cool. I got a Pogo the Clown fucking painting. And I'm like, I don't care.
That's kind of fucking weird, man.
It is a little strange. At the same time, I'm interested in the macabre,
Yeah, right.
but so it's just a fine line of being like, how much do you glamorize these people?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to glamorize them, but I also understand why it's interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not glamorizing, but you kind of can't help but to be fascinated by these like weirdo like anomalies of of psychosis of like your regular brain functions. You don't think usually to kill someone. So when
Right.
people get there, everyone's kind of like, "Whoa, what took them to that point?"
The Jeep.
The fucking Jeep.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to an interesting thing involving bugs.
Ooh.
No murder here.
Okay.
The U.S. has planned to begin breeding billions and billions of flies.
I feel like they don't have to breed them for them to just like be around.
This is interesting. This all takes place in the fantastic flatlands of Topeka, Kansas.
Anytime my cat poops, it's all of a sudden everywhere.
Flies are everywhere.
Flies are everywhere all the time.
I agree.
Leave some food out. They'll be around.
You want to find some flies? You feed me a Papa John's, I will get you flies.
Yep.
The U.S. government is preparing to breed billions and billions of flies. And then they're going to dump them out via airplanes over southern Texas and over Mexico.
Ha ha. You guys are going to get more flies.
Yeah, that
That
sucks.
sucks.
It's going to be like biblical. People are going to think
Oh,
this is
they're
the second
totally
coming.
going to think, yeah.
What seal opened, like of the 7 seals? I forget. One of them opens and then a bunch of like locusts comes and shit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be locusts, but it's
Flies will
like bootleg locusts.
Yeah, like Sheen.
Yeah.
Like the Sheen god is like, take some fucking flies.
Just have flies. I don't know, man.
But why are they doing this? Not just to be mean to the people of Mexico or southern Texas.
Even though it's funny.
It is funny, and it's going to be such a pain in the ass.
It is going to be.
Apparently, both of those areas have been infested with a flesh-eating maggot.
Ew. Oh, that's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Right? Isn't that?
Flies come from maggots, so they're hoping that they eat their young.
I guess so. Yeah,
Wow.
I suppose so.
Okay.
Sounds.
Flies come from maggots?
Yeah, flies are maggots, and then they turn into flies, right?
Oh God.
I'm not exactly sure.
I hate this education right now. No, I don't.
I know that.
I don't know that.
I know caterpillars turn into beautiful butterflies.
Don't look up pictures of maggots.
Yeah, flies come from maggots.
There you go. All right.
What do you
great.
mean they come from maggots?
They are. That's their pupae.
Maggots are baby flies.
Like in like how caterpillars are butterflies?
That's what I
Yeah.
just said. Yes.
Ugh, no way.
Mhm,
Oh, that's so gross.
Well, this is part of a government plan. The government, they have said that they are going to need to get rid of these flesh-eating maggots. Why?
because they're eating our flesh.
Because it could devastate the beef industry.
Oh no.
They're eating our beef.
They're trying to eat the cow before we do.
And that's our cow to
That's
eat.
our cow to eat.
Yes. According to Edwin Burgess, he says this is exceptionally good technology. It's an all-time great in terms of translating science to solve some kind of large problem.
Okay.
And that, of course, comes from us breeding a bunch of fucking flies to go eat a bunch of maggots so they stop eating our cows.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, in that case, yeah, you should stick the flies on them.
Mm-hmm. You know what the name of these flies are? The screw worm.
The screw worm.
Yeah, it's not just a new toy that you can find on Pornhub.
This one doesn't screw around.
I watched one of those videos of a chicken fucked by a machine, and I was getting
Why did you do
pretty
that?
pissed off at
what
that
are
machine.
you talking about?
Well, because it was a solo jerk-off video, and the next thing you know, she
There
revs
was-
up this thing that runs on diesel.
Oh, a chick. I thought you said a chicken.
No.
I was like, what the fuck are you up to, Ben?
I've only watched that in Pink Flamingos, or was it Desperate Living? John Waters has one scene in one of his
Oh,
movies where there's
boy.
a chicken fucking scene,
Nope.
and the chicken does die. But he made that chicken a star. And that's his defense, and I stand by that.
And this is my fault, and I'm sorry, and I apologize to the audience for bringing that up.
Apology accepted.
The target pest is the flesh-eating larvae of the New World screwworm fly. It's a new world, so it's got
Yeah.
a top hat. It's real fancy, see?
Oh.
We do the talkies, see? We got color TV, see?
Oh, okay.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture plans to ramp up the breeding and distribution of only, patriarchy, adult male flies because then you can't go fuck. Right? So there are no women allowed.
Right.
They're going to sterilize them with radiation, much like how you make TMNT's villain. What was the name of the villain that was the fly?
Jeff Goldblum?
No, he is the fly, but he's got a full name. I just watched a 20-minute YouTube
Dexter
video.
something, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's really, really good. Anyway, they're trying to make a super villain here,
Whoa.
which is kind of interesting.
Or I guess an anti-hero.
Baxter Stockman.
Baxter
Superfly.
Superfly.
Ah, Superfly.
I literally just watched a whole YouTube, the whole story arc of this
You're
guy.
lying.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Tell me about it.
Well, number one, he was sort of a interesting character because he was very smart, but he was a little absent-minded.
Oh, okay.
And then he was like, I want to do good, but his brother actually wanted to do bad.
Wow, you really did watch it.
Yes, but then Shredder came up to him and was like, you work for me now, kid. But he's just a scientist, so he didn't know. So he created all those little mice bots that were going to catch rats because he wanted to work in the termination business.
Right.
What do you call that when you're killing
Terminator business?
no, not terminator.
Extermination.
Extermination.
Exterminator
He
business.
wanted to work in extermination, but he was too good. His machine was too good. So the exterminating businesses around said, no, sir, you can't have that product in our town because that's going to put us out of business, right? Long story short, he ends up getting thrown into this radioactive chamber. A fly goes in with him. He becomes the fly, but he still has kind of a good heart sometimes.
Yeah, totally remember. And he was really hot at the start, and it's a
Yes.
shame that he stopped being hot by the end.
Yes, that's also sort of the fly with Jeff Goldblum, which is obviously the inspiration for that character.
Yeah, because it has a very similar story.
So, the new age screwworm fly. The U.S. Department, they're going to ramp up the breeding, so there's going to be a lot of fucking. And they're going to mate with females in the wild. And the eggs laid by the females, they're not fertilized and they don't hatch. There are fewer larvae, and over time, the fly population dies out. This seems difficult.
Huh.
What about raid?
How are they going to control the population dying out as soon as they're done with this job?
Yeah, what about fly swatters? And
Yeah.
this is a
Well, maggots are pretty fucking crazy. I can't stand seeing one. I don't know how to get rid of them. I've had the displeasure of having like roommates that leave things out for so long that it just gets gross like
that's
that.
nasty.
Yeah, it's really, really terrible. And I had no idea how to get rid of them. I set them on fire.
Here's a bucket of larvae getting thrown into a larger
I'm
bucket.
so glad I have my glasses off right now. I hate that so much.
This is a picture of a worker dropping New World screwworm fly larvae into a large tray. And then again, they're supposed to breed. They say this is gonna be very effective and environmentally friendly, as opposed to spraying pesticides.
How do you find yourself into that job?
You're a scientist.
Get the fly fuck tray, Dexter.
Yeah.
Get it. Get it. So the USDA expects a new screwworm fly factory to be up and running in southern Mexico by July 2026.
Wow.
So jobs are coming back to Mexico.
That's good.
It also plans to open up a fly distribution center in southern Texas by the end of the year.
You get a fly, you get a fly. You get a fly, you get a fly.
Distribution.
Everyone gets flies.
So,
Look under your chairs. They're in your ass.
yay! I was hoping it was a free car. So most fly larvae feed off of dead flesh, but the New World screwworm fly, they can eat actual beef. And the female lay their eggs in wounds and sometimes exposed mucus. So you get a cut, and next thing you know, you got some chicken there giving birth in your wounds.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah. According to Michael Bailey, they say 1,000-pound bovine can be dead from this in just 2 weeks. He also says it smells nasty.
You don't say.
Yep. And in real scientific terms, they say it smells like rotten meat. which
Oh,
I
man.
imagine that's what it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. So the New World screwworm, it's a tropical species. So they're like their little underwear and they wear the little sunscreen.
New world screwworm. New world screwworm. New world screwworm. New world screwworm.
Still, you're not drunk. You can drive.
Oh, look at that.
Still, the U.S. and Mexico bred and released more than 94 billion sterile flies from 1962 through 1975 to eradicate the pest. So we've been battling the screwworm longer than we've been battling one of our long enemies. Who? Iran.
Iran. So basically, they're like, oh, we can't fight them. Let's make more.
Yeah,
Let's
because
make
those
them kill each other.
they're going to kill one another.
Yeah, got it.
So the U.S. They said they were going to bring jobs back, and look what they're doing, man. They're doing it.
Instead, they're turning flies into the Suicide Squad.
Apparently, decades ago, the U.S. had fly factories in Florida and Texas.
Wow.
But they were
Fly factories.
fly factories.
Imagine.
The Panama Fly Factory, it bred 117 million flies a week.
What the hell?
Yes, but the USDA wants the capacity to breed at least 400 million a week. It plans to spend 8.5 million on the Texas site and 21 million to convert a factory in southern Mexico for breeding of sterile fruit flies into one for screwworm flies. I don't know. Anyway, apparently it's a huge deal.
Okay.
Look at
well,
all these factories. These are how it's made.
That's insane.
But fucking flies.
I never saw flies in any of the episodes, and I watch How It's Made all of the time. I fucking love that show.
Apparently, yeah, I know. I had no idea we manufactured flies in factories.
That's retarded.
So apparently, they say you're going to drop flies from the air. It can be dangerous. Last month, a plane freeing sterile flies crashed near Mexico's border with Guatemala, killing 3 people.
Why did it? What the fuck? Why?
I don't know. Because we don't like the stuff that's eating our beef.
That doesn't make any sense. It's like they forgot to tell other people in the airspace that oh, we're dumping a bunch of flies.
I think you have to go pretty low to the ground. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, don't the flies just fly away?
So they just yeah, I don't understand.
So in the 1950s, this is going way back. So in the 1950s, the USDA scientists put flies in paper cups and then dropped the cups out of planes using special chutes. Later, they loaded them into boxes with a machine known as the Whiz Packer.
The Whiz Packer?
Yes, and the method is still the same. Light plates with crates of flies, drop those crates.
That sounds like a cheese canister.
It sounds like the worst summer for a group of exploratory children where they're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, the plane dropped something. What do you think it could be? Maybe it's an alien life form. Maybe it's a bunch of chocolate. It's the flies.
It's flies. Everywhere flies. So all the flies are literally the government's fault. Sick.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Since the 50s. And then they're like, I know we put in too many flies, but hear me out. We're going to throw in more flies.
We're going to throw in
And
more
those flies are going to take away the other flies. And if not, we're just going to make more flies. And then those
Yeah.
flies will definitely take out the rest of the flies. Man, there's a lot of flies around here.
You really just described foreign policy for the United States over the past 100 years.
Wow, look at me go.
I think this is why we have Al-Qaeda today.
Wow.
We created them to fight the Russians. And then all of a
my
sudden they started fighting us.
God.
We're like, oh, now we don't like you. It's a vicious game of fly
Hilarious.
war.
Oh my God.
Lastly, according to Burgess, they say something we think we have complete control over and we have declared triumph and victory over can always rear its ugly head again. So be careful out there.
Motherfucking flies, bro.
Motherfucking
Just keep your bug spray on handy. Keep that swatter
keep
ready
it
to
ready.
go.
Keep it ready. All right. Well, just lastly, let's talk about 5 foods that can help you poop.
Ooh, let's.
Let's do
Oh, can I guess?
Dunkin' Donuts,
Wow.
Papa John's,
Oh boy.
Chinese food,
No, not
a nice blunt
taco and sour cream,
with some beers,
okay. Blunt and beers are not
Budweiser's.
coffee.
okay.
Lots
Neither,
of coffee, extra shot.
Jerry, you're not saying foods.
Okay.
Those are
I consume them.
yes, but just because you consume doesn't mean it's a food.
Give-
What?
A blunt is not a food.
Oh, blood. I mean, it can be.
I
if
mean,
you
yeah. I
want.
mean, it causes food to happen almost immediately after, so it might as well be food.
I'm also going to push back on Kyle. Papa John's binds you up. It doesn't push it out.
Oh, so true. So true.
Papa in the house, and he stays in the fucking house.
Okay. Cheese.
Okay.
Cocaine.
Not,
Not food. Got
although,
it. All
but
right.
it's an ingestible.
It
Cocaine is closer to a food than a joint.
We're getting there.
Making
We're good.
progress. Look at me.
Apparently, people have some stomach issues where they can't shit.
Ah, me.
The good news is those that are they call it the anti-runs.
The anti-runs. Girl, get you some Imodium.
So you got the runs and you got the anti-runs, and they're snapping at each other and they're clapping
Yeah.
and they're ready to fight in Times Square.
It's Imodium versus Pepto-Bismol. Who
It
will
really-
win?
So if you have the anti-runs, according to a person who works in shit, right?
A gastroenterologist?
Yes, that's their fancy name that you want to
Yes.
call them at a fancy dinner, but in reality, you're like, shit, doctor? Okay. They say, I see patients struggle with constipation all the time. Well, medications can help. The most natural first step is, what's on your plate?
Yes.
What's on your plate?
Yeah, it
So-
really is.
What foods should you eat?
Avocados.
Kiwis is the answer.
Kiwis.
Oh.
Kiwis. Evidently, kiwis is a hidden gem when it comes to a healthy gut. Rich in both soluble and insoluble fiber, it contains an enzyme called actin-indin, which may help stimulate digestion.
What?
It's the actin-indin.
Actin-indin.
Acting in what?
Your colon.
Acting in the end of
The
your
new
end.
the new P. Diddy movie. Oh my God, Diddy! If you're hiring actors for your next roles, so
Ben's available.
Oh my God.
you need to have 1 or 2 per day kiwi. They're low in sugar and they don't cause bloating like other fruits. Apparently, some fruits cause bloating.
Oh.
I would say grapes cause bloating,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I got. Mangoes,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
bananas.
The next food, kiwis and oatmeal.
Oh yeah, I did know that.
But I thought that oatmeal was unhealthy.
No, oatmeal's really good for you. Like I said, there's a lot of it's a good source of fiber.
I've been watching some, what do they call it? Like alt science, right?
Uh-huh.
And alt science guys, they say that oatmeal is like a big scam and that it's not good for you.
Well, they are liars.
They're all in
and
shit.
they haven't had acid reflux their entire lives like I have.
Okay.
Yeah, they also say you can like pray cancer away with listening to certain vibrations of sounds and.
Well, why would I pray cancer away? I prayed to get it.
Oh.
So,
No.
oats
No.
no. Oats are packed with soluble fiber. Isn't that exciting? Soluble.
It is soluble.
Especially beta glucan,
Uh-huh.
which sounds like it's a Star Trek villain. So it makes it easier to pass. So there you go. So oatmeal. Eat oatmeal.
Oatmeal and kiwis. Got it.
Chia seeds. Little
Chia seeds.
Yeah, these are tiny seeds. They absorb many times their weight in water, forming a gel-like substance that bulks up and softens
They are
stool.
so cute. Have you ever had chia seeds?
I don't know what the
you
chia
put,
seed
You put
is.
them in, yeah. If you put them in like some juice or like water, they start to like kind of absorb, and then they get all like gelish. Like,
Oh.
turn into little tiny boba beans.
Oh.
But I don't like boba beans because they're too large.
Well, in
But
New
the
York,
chia seeds are really good.
New York was trying to really push boba when I was there for a couple of years.
I love boba.
Yeah, I'm not really a boba person.
I think I'm gonna die and choke.
Oh, it's so good.
They're too like gummy balls,
Yeah.
gummy balls in my mouth.
I
Doesn't
can't-
work. Don't work for me.
I can't tell what the flavor is.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's tapioca.
Also, Jerii,
Yeah.
I apologize.
You should, and I'll think about forgiving you. Wait, but about what?
Coffee is indeed on the list.
Yeah, that's what I said. Hello, pretty girl stomach issues my whole life. I know.
Is coffee a food?
It is.
Oh my god.
It's a drink,
But
You
but
eat
food
it.
and drinks.
anyway, a morning cup of coffee will make you shit. We all know that.
Yeah.
For some people, it works within minutes.
Avocados are pretty good too.
And lastly, cooked spinach.
Oh, I love spinach.
There you go.
But if you're really bound up and you need like an immediate help, Just start chugging olive oil. I'm not kidding. It works.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Now,
Why did you come to a point where you found that out? Why not just put some baking soda in a cup of water?
Because
that'll work.
I couldn't shit for like a week, and then I had to go to the doctors, and they didn't know what was going on. So I went to like one of those holistic places. They shoved a garden hose on my ass with hot water, and then you could see all the shit coming out of my ass through the machine.
That is insane. Okay, the same thing happened to me, but instead of going all holistic, I was on the East Coast where there's, I don't know, medicine there, and I got a regular colonoscopy, and then they were just like, yeah, bitch, change your diet. And then I ate oatmeal and avocados like straight for like months, and then my stomach regulated again.
I think Kyle just went to Liver King. Liver King PhD.
It was all white coming out.
Oh my God, that can't be normal.
And
what are you, a pigeon?
We're getting all this information from Dr. Mikhail Yakubov, and this is him.
Dr. Yuck?
He's super handsome.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
So I don't want to talk I mean, granted, I don't care because I'm 100% straight man. But if it was like a super hot chick, I kind of want my doctor to be sort of ugly and trollish.
I just think that if you're good looking on the outside, you usually have some bullshit going on the inside.
Of course.
So he probably knows about stomach issues.
True.
He's got a Third Reich haircut, so he's definitely done some experimenting with things. So.
He does.
Why
have a
does
Third
he
Reich.
look like like the picture was taken like years and years ago?
Yeah,
Back when they had marching bands in Germany.
His hair kind of looks like his hair kind of looks like one of those Marine berets as it goes.
Yeah, just a little bit dead inside on the eyes.
Nonetheless, so if you're having some bowel issues, those are 5 foods that can help, because that's all we do here on OK Bud is help you out the best we can.
We know a lot about gastroenterology
We
between
really
all of
do.
our tummy problems.
We studied a lot of stuff. We got flies. We got Gastro-Enchiladas.
Gastro-Enchiladas.
We got the Diddy updates. We've done it all today.
Da-da-da-da-da-diddy.
All right, let's go to the comments.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know specifically, how surprised are people about Diddy? I spoke with my boy Larry Lawton, and he was like, he called it. Larry Lawton was like, I knew he was going to get off because the RICO charges are apparently exceptionally difficult to prove.
Wow.
And he was saying that the prosecution brought in all this personal stuff, but when the jurors actually deliberate, they were told not to take any of that into account.
Oh.
So it's like, yes, he's an asshole. Yes, he had that video of him beating the fuck out of his gal. Yes, all this stuff, but they were told, like, it's about the money.
Yeah, I think people are very surprised that he was able to get off. And it's just so weird because they dropped like 5 of the other charges before.
Yes.
It's like, why didn't you just hold on to whatever charges you were charging him with?
Ridiculous.
I think there's some money changing hands behind the scenes.
Probably.
Very, very possible. And I say this in all earnestly. I think he was going to get a pardon anyway. I think
Really?
Trump was going to pardon him.
I don't think there's
my
any way.
God.
What do you mean you don't think there's any way?
Trump pardoning him?
Yeah.
It would be such a bad move.
Buddy, did you know who every time a president leaves, they pardon? Scooter Libby was pardoned.
Yeah.
No, people,
Fucking
murderers are pardoned all the time. Presidents don't give a shit.
That is the only way I think he'd be able to do it and get away with it is like literally the last day he's walking out the door. He's like, by the way, Diddy's free.
That's what they do.
Yeah. But he couldn't do that like
So
today.
ridiculous.
He can do what? Yes, he could, and he may.
Here we go. People are talking about the flies too. Pano said that it is the plot of Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh.
Yeah. Vanessa said, I'm going to be real honest with you all. I didn't realize there was so much to say about flies.
Yeah.
We fucking nailed it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that fly.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah. Just watching. Just God, it would actually grow. It depends on the room.
Yeah.
Depends on the room.
Yeah, to be a fly on the wall, it'd be like, who the fuck are all these other flies coming from?
Right. But then if you're a fly, you like shit, so you kind of want to be in the bathroom. But
Yeah.
you're a Diddy party. Well, is there shit? Nah, who knows?
It's probably so gross. I don't want to. I'm
Okay.
done. No,
All right.
moving on.
All right.
Chris is asking how we feel about World War II war trophies.
Those are fine.
They made it illegal to bring anything home from Iraq or Afghanistan.
Interesting. Well, I always found it suspicious when people are a little too into World War II. You know, like
Yeah.
and you're a history buff, but it's like just World War II.
There's a fantastic TV show. I think it's called The Gentleman, where one of the a bit of a spoiler, but one of the bad dudes, like, you find out he really loves the one side of the war. I think if you
Yeah.
look
Right.
if you have an all-encompassing view of world history, it is fascinating.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there with Nazi or like Soviet art.
But on Ben Kissel Politics, I have a bone to pick with Chris anyway, because he sent us a lengthy email about why he's pro banning balloons. So
that's
he's
right.
He's on my shit list. But we'll talk about it.
And then Beth was saying, "Are you telling me Popeye constantly had the shits because he ate so much spinach?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
he had a really, really healthy digestive tract, is what he had.
Spinach and olive oil.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Boom.
Damn!
They were so-
Clearing that gut out.
They were such a cute couple.
They were so cute.
She's very skinny.
She was very
yeah.
skinny.
Yeah.
But Bluto, he liked her too. If Popeye would have died, she would have gotten with Bluto.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the way it always goes.
Yep.
Keep an eye on your close friends, guys.
Yep.
Okay, everyone. Thank you all. Or enemies, I guess. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Hail yourselves. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.